Hey Drupalers, this is Elliot from myDropWizard. At myDropWizard, we provide support and maintenance for Drupal 7 and Drupal 8 websites. We also provide support for Drupal 6 websites. And what you may or may not know is Drupal 6 was end of life in February of 2016. So, what that means is security updates are more difficult to get. A lot of the supported modules and so on and so forth can have security flaws that might not be discovered, might not have releases readily available. The default Drupal 6 install doesn't alert you to the updates anymore. So anyway, there's all sorts of reasons that you should move from Drupal 6 to Drupal 7, or better yet, to Drupal 8. Or you should get some long-term support from a company like ours. But if those are not options and your website doesn't change very much, this is a great option to make your Drupal site not a Drupal site anymore and make it a static website. And you would do that by cloning the website and making an identical copy of it, and then uploading that in place of your Drupal site. So I'm going to use Windows 10 for this, and I'm going to open up my Chrome browser, and we're going to use a program called HTTrack in Windows, and they also have a version for the Mac and for Linux. So these instructions should be similar across platform. Now for the demo, I'm going to use what's actually a Drupal 7 website, but the point is that it really doesn't matter. We're making a static version of the website. I'm going to use this website because it is a very simple site. It shouldn't take that long to download. So I'm downloading the 64-bit version here. Even though it says Vista 7 and 8, it'll run on Windows 10 just fine. And I'm going to open this up and install it. I did get a security error when I was using the Edge browser before. So that's something to be aware of. Shouldn't be anything to worry about. It's just a change in the way that Windows handles security certificates. So everything seems fine, and Chrome didn't yell at me about it. So I think everything is all fine. And I'm just going to go through here and go with all the defaults. So next, like you used to with an install in Windows. And I'm even going to just hit finish. It did pop up a text file that showed all the history of the program, and then this splash that I'm just going to click OK on. And now we're here at the kind of the start screen for HTTrack. And there are tons of features in here, but we're going to use the defaults, and the defaults work great for what we're going to do. So I am going to click next, and there's really only one thing you need to do here, and that is to punch in your project name. So I'm going to actually punch in ideasbyelliot.com. That's my podcast. And here's the base path. This is the one thing that you can leave it at the default if you know how to get to my websites on the C drive, but I'm going to move it to my desktop. Okay. And then I'm just going to click next. And then again, I'm going to punch in the website URL. And everything is going to be defaults, and it's going to take a little while to download. Not super long though. And when it's done, we'll have a static version of our website. And I'll have one thing to show you about that that you'll want to watch out for. But other than that, if you have a Drupal 6 website, Drupal 7 website, WordPress site, any kind of content management system that you no longer need and you don't want to deal with the security issues surrounding that, you can get a static version of the site. Now you'll see that we are finished. So we're gonna, you don't have to do this. You could just be finished, and then you have a backup of your files in that directory that you listed before. But I'm gonna click on Browse Mirrored Website. It's going to ask me what browser to use. We can open it up in Edge. Sure, that's fine. Here it shows a list very quickly of the websites that are on the web that you have downloaded. And then it loads up the site that I punched in. And you'll see everything looks pretty much the way it is. There's some things I want to change, but they're accurate. And we can click on some of these links. Let's click on the podcast link. I think the audio doesn't come through, but maybe it does. We can just try a recent one. Click on play, and that works fine, even though the actual MP3 file that's being played here is stored on Amazon S3. So again, this just copies down the static site files that are on the actual website. So that works fine. The blog works fine. You'll notice that the URLs change to some relative URL paths. This is blog.html instead of just regular /blog. And one thing to watch out for, though, the search isn't going to work. So that's going to give us an error. So if that search is important, then yep, that's the purpose of having something like Drupal behind it. And also, the contact me will actually not work. Oops. So it shows the form, but when I click submit, if I click submit, it's going to not do anything, I think, or it might give me an error. But at any rate, it's not going to work. So it does work right now, and the reason for that is the Drupal website is still up there. But if you put this public, and the Drupal website's not there to take the submission, then it won't work. So that is something to watch out for, though, because even if you do test it offline, like I sort of am right now, you're going to end up with something that doesn't work, and you thought maybe that it did. So anything where you're doing any sort of back and forth communication, any dynamic content, that is going to have some troubles that you're going to want to maybe have an actual testing server to test on. Anyway, that is it. That's all there is to it. It's very straightforward. If I close this up, and I close this up, and I close this up, and I close this up, we will see that I have a folder here that has my website in it, and that's what I can just click on to open it up. So everything is in here. You'll notice that there's even some Google Analytics and some other things that are in here for JavaScript and so on. So pretty cool. It all works, and that's all there is to it.